Hello and welcome again to this special election edition of Leaders in Coffee and Gables Insider. Today we're joined by Group 2 Commission candidate Jose Valdes Fauli. Jose, welcome to Leaders in Coffee.
Thank you, Ariel.
Jose, what motivated you to run for City Commission?
Ariel, what motivated me to run for City Commission is I had an issue with the city about 6 or 7 years ago. And with traffic calming on the corner of my house, there was an issue where they brought out their consultants, and I didn't agree with anything that they were doing. And I had many discussions with them, and I wasn't getting anywhere with the city, and I did not agree with their traffic calming methods. So what I did is I went to the county, since Alhambra Circle is a county road. I went over the city to the county. I called Glenn Kephart at the time, who was the head of it. And I said, by the way, since I'm not getting anywhere with you, I'm giving you the courtesy to tell you that I'm going over your head to the county. So I went over the county, and within a few days, a week, the county totally agreed with me and bypassed the city and did everything that I had asked for originally for the city. And I said, it's pretty incredible that I'm not an engineer. And I went out there with logic and a pad and a paper and a measuring tape, and I figured out what the corner really needed. There had been deaths in the corner. There have been, accidents every weekend. And I said, my God, if I can solve this with just using logic, what are they doing? So that's really what triggered it off. Also, I live in a historical house, and I had to get, something like 14 different building permits when I was redoing my house. And just the questions that were asked and the things that were done were just mind-boggling. I don't know how much time we have, but I just, as recent as a couple of weeks ago, I had a huge Royal Poinciana tree in my house, humongous, that had these big holes on the side. So I called the city horticulturist and I said, can you take a look at this? And he took a look at it and said, it needs to come down. I'm emailing you the permit so that you can get the permit to take it down, and we'll approve it. Well, fine. Everything went fine. They approved it and to take it down. But then it had to go to historical. And then it got stuck in historical. I'm saying, what is historical going to do about a tree that the city horticulturist is saying needs to come down? Why are they even in there when it's dead and it's dangerous?
On this topic, development obviously is an issue that's concerning, and then permitting leads into development. What is your stance on development, and how would you address it?
I just think I don't believe in giving anything away. I think the city, the buildings need to go based on the zoning allowed, unless there is a benefit to the residents of the city, and the residents of the city agree that it is in their best interest. I also don't believe in these Mediterranean bonuses where you put a little cupola on top of a square building and suddenly you can get a couple more floors and you can get all these Mediterranean benefits. I don't believe in that. I think also that, we need to control development by following the code. I don't think the code should be changed without the input of the residents. On this last go round, there were 3 zoning changes presented back and approved by the Planning and Zoning Committee back in July of last year. And all 3 zoning codes that have caused all these problems, one is the crafts, one is the Miracle Mile, and the other is a general revamp of the code, were all approved unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Board, of which one of my opponents sat on for 2 years approving everything. And now she's coming back and saying, that she's against development and that we should follow this or follow that. I don't think that's right. Why did the Planning and Zoning Board approve everything? Unanimous.
Now, development also leads to traffic, and the traffic gridlock in the city has increased. What would you do to improve our traffic situation?
Okay, on traffic, 780,000 cars come to Coral Gables on a daily basis. I don't think you can stop them from coming through. You cannot do it. But you can certainly slow them down. And that will be one of my pet projects, because I don't feel that they are doing the correct things with their traffic calming measures. I don't agree with their traffic calming measures. When you put one of these speed bumps that you raise it a little bit in the middle of the road and you call that traffic calming, I mean, most people today, 70% of the people are buying SUVs today. I mean, that's like a blink in an eye when you drive through one of those with an SUV. I also think the corners at all the intersections need to be narrowed. You can literally land a helicopter on any corner of these streets in Coral Gables. Just go outside your yard, you go outside and go to the first corner, and you can see how wide it is, which allows cars to fly through those intersections because they don't need to stop. I think those curbs, the little curbs that are put in the middle of the streets to make people, slow down as they're approaching them, work very well. I think narrowing the intersections work very well. And the excuses that they've given in the past that fire trucks need space, come on, a fire truck can go right over one of those little curves without a blip. So I do think that traffic calming is a big, big issue. And I just don't agree. And I have expressed it, so I'm not talking out of school, that I do not agree with their traffic calming measures.
Residents have voiced their concern over the last few months about transparency in government and resident input. What would you do to improve on that issue?
Well, first of all, I retired 12 years ago. I was fortunate. When we sold our last bank, I was able to retire. And this 12 years ago, I was young, and this will be my full-time job. I don't have any other job. So I will be accessible to the residents at all times. I have given out my cell number to everyone. I have given out my email to everyone. I will meet them at the office whenever they want to meet. I am available. We can do office hours if that's preferable. We can just meet. I am totally accessible because this will be my job. I would like to also reiterate that I am the only person with heavy financial experience running for the commission. I was CEO of banks for 25 years. I was also on the board of a public company where I was based as a financial expert. And I think the commission needs something different in the commission. We do not need more attorneys in the commission. While being an attorney is a very honorable and wonderful profession, I think we need some variety in the commission and some other experience that can add to what the commission is doing.
What message do you send undecided voters in this race?
I bring a different perspective to the commission. I bring financial expertise and business understanding. And I also bring a lot of logic, having run banks, successful banks and businesses. I bring a lot of logic. I think some things we need, the city attorney has a lot of power in saying, yes, no, and everybody stops. I think we need to challenge a little more and understand a little more. I think when developers are given right of ways and giving benefits to put up their buildings, if it's in the best interest of the residents, I think the city should get something in return. I understand the city cannot get tit for tat because you can't sell public land, but the developer can make incredible donations to the city in the way of public parks and other city needs that will benefit the residents. I will bring logic and business understanding and common sense to the commission.
Jose Valdes Fauli, candidate for commissioner in Group 2. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you, Ariel, and thank you for what you
And
do.
thank you for watching. Tune in next time for another special election edition of Leaders in Coffee.